On, guys, episode 4 of MLB The Show franchise mode. Gonna be doing the Cincinnati Reds. We have the Reds and the Brewers left. The Pirates didn't work out. The Cubs didn't work out. The Cardinals, we made the playoffs twice. Got eliminated in the first round. So let's take a look at this Reds roster now. The Reds really have some good young players. Hunter Green's gonna be a stud. Nick Nodolo, they're very high on. Andrew Abbott could be very good. Nick Martinez, they signed in free agency. Frankie Montas, another free agent they signed who just never really got healthy for the Yankees. That was just not a good trade for them because of health and everything. Graham Ashcraft, another guy they're very high on. So they have some, potential in the rotation to be very good. And you look at the bullpen. T.J. Antone was hurt last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he was hurt, but he's been very good when healthy. They got Sam Moll, former Oakland A. The bullpen could definitely use some work. They got some names you recognize. Emilio Pagan, who was pretty good last year with the Twins. Lucas Sims was very good out of the pen last year. Then they have Alexis Diaz, who's been really good as their closer. So pitching wise, could use some work, but you see the potential in this team. And then catcher Tyler Stevenson didn't really have a great year last year, but he could still be a very good catcher. I'm surprised his overall is only 70. They got Luke Maley as a backup. Kristen Encarnacion, first baseman, still young, still trying to get his footing in the major leagues. Mike Ford, veteran guy, backup. Matt McLean, second base. Jonathan India, second base. It was rumored for all offseason they might trade Jonathan India, guessing just a deal they didn't like was offered or just not enough was offered. Not really sure, but surprised he's still here. But with all the injuries, they signed Jeimer Candelario, who came off a really breakout season last year with the Nats, and he got traded to the Cubs. He'll be an interesting option at third base. And then the stud, Ellie De La Cruz, is going to be an absolute stud for them. Only going to continue to get better, only 22 years of age. They got TJ Friedel and Spencer Steele. They have a lot of left fielders, which probably better off moving one of these guys, probably Spencer Steer to right field because we have a lot of left fielders. Maybe that raises overall a little bit. So he'll be our right fielder. But they got TJ Friedel, Jake Fraley. They got Stuart Fairchild in the center. That could be something we look to upgrade. And then I said Steele. Spencer Steer in right field and Will Benson in right field. So, honestly, this team has potential to be really good. It's just first base, they don't have Joey Votto no more, which is still surprising to me they let Votto walk. I mean, I know they have a lot of infielders, but that was still just. It's kind of like my Cardinals just letting Yadier Molina or Wainwright walk. It just feels weird, but can understand it from a fit standpoint. They have a lot of guys who all kind of need playing time in the infield, so it makes sense. But like the Reds, they've been spending more money the last few years, which is surprising. They haven't spent a ton of money, but they went years where they weren't really making a lot of moves at all. So it seems like ownership in the front office is trying to compete more. The NL Central's up for grabs, and if you look through free agency, obviously they updated JD Martinez signed with the Mets. Could we go out and sign a Jordan Montgomery? He's probably not going to be overly expensive. He'd be the best pitcher we have. Let's see how much money he'd want. Obviously, we got to get rid of somebody first. I'll get rid of Carson Spears, D potential. So let's see how much Jordan Montgomery would want. So 19.1, he wants more. 20 million, 20 and a half. So we get Jordan Montgomery for about 10.5 million a year. 10.3 million a year. I mean, that's not a bit of trade by the Atlanta Braves. Yanoa for Nick Martinez. Now it opens up some cap space. Nick Martinez not really having a good year. He's making 13 million a year. Yanoa's only 25. He's putting up solid numbers at AAA. Could be a piece for us in the future, maybe even this season, depending on how the rest of the season goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and accept this trade. We are at the trade deadline, and we're 6.5 games back. The Cardinals not running away with the division, but they have the best record, 60 and 48. Brewers 5 games back, we're 6.5. So it's really between us three teams. We definitely have a shot at winning this division. If we go on a second half run, the Cardinals go on a losing streak. So let's see how the team's been performing. TJ Friedel's been really good, 17 home runs, 43 RBIs, 259. He's definitely gonna have a career year in that leadoff spot. So we definitely need him to keep hitting. Will Benson's not been too bad either. Another guy you're going to have a career year. 11 homers, 39 RBIs, 289 average. Good numbers for Will Benson. Spencer Steer has been good as well. 18 home runs, 71 RBIs. Our top three in the lineup looking really good so far. Ellie De La Cruz has been solid. Going to have a career year. The average could jump up a little bit more, but really solid numbers for a number 4 hitter. Jeimer Candelario's been what we paid him to do. 15 home runs, 63 RBIs, and over 300, slugging over 500. Jake Fraley's been good, 13 home runs, 46 RBIs, 276 average, getting on base. Christian Encarnacion hasn't been too good. We'll definitely probably look to upgrade first base in the future. Tyler Stevenson hasn't been spectacular, been decent, especially with the rest of our lineup hitting. He doesn't have to do a whole lot, but not really horrible numbers, but not numbers that you go, man, Tyler Stevenson, just amazing. And Mark Matthews, we ended up calling him up from the minor leagues. He's 29 years old, could play really all over the place. We have a lot of injuries, which I'll show you guys here in a second, but 310 average, really good so far. And then Quincy McCaffrey, another guy who could play all over the diamond, hasn't really hit, but just a guy to have off the bench. His fielding's pretty good. Luke Mailey's been really solid in that backup catching role. 5 home runs, 7 RBIs at 286, slugging over 400. Nick Martini has not been very good in that backup outfield role, and then Stuart Fairchild has not hit either. So let me show you guys some of the injuries, because injuries have taken a toll on us as well. TJ Antone tore his pectoral muscle out 1 to 2 months. Wasn't really pitching that well, but still our best reliever besides Alexis Diaz. So he's injured. And then second base, we've really just been destroyed by injuries. Matt McClain got hurt. Wasn't having a great year either when he was playing, but still miss him in the lineup. Broken foot out 1 to 2 months. And then Jonathan India broke his finger. He's out 1 to 2 months. He was having a really good season. So second base has been plummeted by injuries. Don't think we're going to make a big trade for a second base. Like, we could go out and get a Whit Merrifield, but I mean, those guys will be back in a month or two. But looking at the trade deadline, like, there's not a lot of options to really upgrade us any better than what we got. Like, there's a lot of starters. Our starting rotation really ain't that bad. Let's take a look how the pitching has performed. Jordan Montgomery's been great, 3.39 ERA. Hunter Green hasn't been bad. He hasn't been great, but hasn't been bad. 4.16 ERA, 7-4 record. Nick Lodolo's been not very good. Hopefully he can get a better second half going. Andrew Abbott's been pretty good in that 4-starter role, 3.69 ERA, 6-5 record, 9-5 for Frankie Montas, which I'm surprised, honestly, the Reds gave him $16 million. Like, I'm actually surprised by that, because he's had a good, like, last few years, but man, coming off an injury, giving a guy that a lot of money, I was actually surprised. Fernando Cruz has been good out of the bullpen, 3.91 ERA. Yanoa's been a solid pickup for us, 10-3 record, ERA under 4, giving us a lot of innings out of the bullpen. Really could play both roles. Sam Mole's been excellent for us, 2.70 ERA. Lucas Sims has been solid, free agent to be. Maybe we bring him back. 3.45 ERA, 6-4. Emilio Pagan has not been great, 5.47 ERA. Ian Gabat, ERA over 5, not good either. And then Buck Farmer, we ended up calling up for TJ Antone. Hasn't really pitched a lot. 1 inning, but didn't give up a run. And Alexis Diaz in that closer rolled 30 for 33 in saves. Potentials went up, overalls went up. So you look at this team, and the offense looks pretty good, really. I mean, a lot of guys are hitting. I know we got a hitting-friendly ballpark, but even on the road, a lot of them are hitting. This is we don't have a lot of high overall guys in the lineup, but a lot of them are playing pretty well, which is good to see. And the pitching rotation could be a little bit better. The bullpens looked solid, besides maybe Gabat and Pagan. But, like, we're not playing horrible baseball, especially with the injuries we've had. But do we add anything? Or do we just see how it goes? Like, do we add a Matt Strom? He's 32. Or do we go out and get a Dylan Tate who's pitching in the minor leagues? I mean, that could be somebody we go out and get for the bullpen. I'll throw in Emilio Pagan, who's a free agent to be. Let's see. We'll throw in Bubba Thompson, but he's only 25. Maybe trade him Emilio Pagan and maybe Nick Martini. He's 33. I mean, Pagan could have some interest to the Orioles. I mean, Tate's not even pitching in the majors right now. They have a lot of bullpen options. So, I mean, I think this is a fair trade. We get Dylan Tate. He signed for 2 more years, so he'll be signed for the rest of his franchise. I like this deal, so I'm going to go ahead and get Dylan Tate for our bullpen. And Dylan Tate's really had success for me in franchise over the last few years, so maybe this will replicate that. He's really not been bad when he's pitched in the majors this year. 4.24 ERA ain't horrible. So first season is over. We ended up finishing in second place in a very weak division. The Brewers finished at 500 and ended up winning the division. This division was just complete trash. I mean, wow, we finished 4 games under 500 and finished in second place. Like, that is actually insane. Definitely our division to hopefully take next year. Let's see how the lineup did. TJ Friedel, 24 home runs, 66 RBIs. Really good year for him in the power department, developing. Definitely going to be a big bat for us in the next few seasons. Will Benson hit 20 home runs, hit over 300, drove into 70. Breakout season for Will Benson. Matt McLean was hurt a lot of the year. Still put up good numbers for the games he played. Just wasn't really healthy. We need him healthy if we're going to do anything next season. Spencer Steer hit 30 home runs, drove in 100, 277 average. I mean, a lot of our hitters really produced. Elodie Cruz still gave us 20 home runs, 63 RBIs. Jake Fraley put up solid production. 17 home runs, 65 RBIs, 256 average. Candelario was great, 22 home runs, 92 RBIs, slugged over 500, 304 average. Tyler Stevenson wasn't great. Don't know if we're going to keep Tyler Stevenson around. Catcher might need to be something we look at depending on who's available by trade or free agency. Mike Ford played limited, didn't really do much. And the bench, Luke Maley was solid in the backup catcher role. Jonathan India didn't play a lot, but had a good season overall in 82 games, 14 home runs, 45 RBIs, 292 average. Stuart Fairchild didn't play a lot, didn't do anything spectacular. Mark Matthews, bench role, gave us solid numbers, really, for a guy who was just playing 40 games. Like to see that. So let's take a look at the pitching. Jordan Montgomery was excellent, 13-11, 3.21 ERA. What a pickup he was. Hunter Green, solid season, but definitely need to have better numbers from him next year, but not a horrible season. 8-6 ERA, just above 4. Nick Lodolo, we got to get better numbers from, especially for a guy who's supposed to be like third starter in our rotation. Andrew Abbott was excellent, 3.15 ERA. And then Frankie Montas ended up getting hurt like right after the All-Star break, or actually right after the trade deadline ended, he got hurt. Just wasn't really that good. Probably won't bring him back. Fifth starter, unless we give Brandon Williamson the fifth starter role, which is a possibility, depending on who's available and what the prices are. Could be our rotation. Fernando Cruz was good, put together a good second half, but he's 34, probably going to continue to drop off in overall. Sam Moll was really good. He's really actually had a good last few years. He's been an underrated reliever the last few years. Lucas Sims was really good. We'll probably look to try to re-sign him in free agency. Buck Farmer was good in 5.2 innings. Yanoa gave us everything we would expected, 3.43 yard. He could be fighting for a rotation spot as well. So we got some options there. TJ Antone just wasn't healthy again. Pitched 31 games. ERA wasn't great, but hopefully he can stay healthy. And then, wow, Alexis Diaz, what happened? 11 blown saves. He was looking like dynamite before the trade deadline. Wow. And if he don't have a bad second half, we might win the division with how bad the records were. That's unfortunate, but relievers are up and down, and he unfortunately just couldn't get it going in the second half. Still finished with 40 saves. That ERA's got to be better. So let's see who wins the World Series here. The Dodgers beat the Astros in the World Series. So we got to make the playoffs next year. This division's not very good, and I think maybe at a starter, maybe we'll see what the prices are. Definitely could add some bullpen pieces. I'm thinking if we can get a catcher, that would be great. First base, and maybe a center fielder. We could always play Jake Fraley in center field, which I might actually move him to center field, see if it downgrades his overall. No, it doesn't. So, yeah, our outfield's pretty set right now. So we're looking, let me go ahead and move this guy left field, just so we got some more left fielders in the system. So the goal this offseason, maybe another starter, some bullpen help, first base, and catcher. I think that's maybe one reliever. I think we had one reliever will be fine. We still got Dylan Tate, which they sent him down to the minor leagues, which is interesting. Didn't have a good year. Definitely got to get him called back up. But, I mean, we got Antone, Moll, Lucas Sims if we re-sign him, and Dylan Tate. I mean, that's not a bad four. Then we got Alexis Diaz as our closer. Hopefully he can bounce back. But, like, rotation-wise, we got a solid 5 right here. It just depends if we want to, because we also got Ashcraft and Yanoa, so could do a trade for a bat, too, if we look at the trade block. A lot of starters, again, on the trade block, so we'll see. I'll let you guys know how the offseason goes. Simming through the offseason, and I got this trade from the Miami Marlins. Sandy Alcantara, ace, absolute stud. He signed until 2028 for Jordan Montgomery, who was coming off a good year of his own. When you look at the age difference, 3-year age difference, Montgomery's a free agent after next year. They also want Jonathan India, which, I mean, he's tradable because we got Matt McLain. And they also want Spencer Steer, who's coming off a 30 home run year. This is a very tempting trade offer. I'm not gonna lie. Alcantara is kind of what we need, an absolute ace, a horse to take the mound, carry us to a playoff. We can go out in free agency and get another outfielder. That's not a problem. We did end up signing Pete Alonso, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. We had cap space. He didn't want a ton of money. Figured, why not? We need a first baseman. Bring in Pete Alonso. I'm gonna do this trade. This trade is just shocking to me. So we sign Pete Alonso. We add Sandy Alcantara to our rotation. Really love that move. Gonna go ahead and keep going with the offseason, trying to make some more moves. So on to the second season. Let me show you guys some of the moves we made. You guys saw a few of them. Sandy Alcantara is now our ace. Him, Hunter Green, Lodolo, Abbott, and Brandon Williamson will be our starting five. We also got Ashcraft and Yanoa, who could also be potential trade candidates along with Williamson or a long relief pitcher. We got a surplus of starters, which we're going to have to figure out eventually what to do with all these guys. Jose Leclerc, we added the bullpen, 4-year deal, $5.5 million. That's not really that bad for him. He comes off a really good year with the Rangers, 3.29 ERA. And we also add Phil Maton to the bullpen, who's coming off of a down year, but we got him for a pretty solid deal, $4.5 million. So we add him. So these three definitely going to be the key parts of our non-closer roles. And we got Alexis Diaz, who we're hoping has a bounce-back season. When you guys saw, we added Pete Alonso, which I think this is a great move. We got him for $13.8 million a year, which ain't bad at all. 45 home runs last year in Great American Ballpark. He could hit probably 50 or 60. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I mean, pretty much the same. We're going to give Will Benson, an everyday job in right field. He played really good. Going to see how he performs. Stuart Fairchild will probably do a platoon role with him, see how that goes, and really like the way this team looks. So let's get this season going, and hopefully we make a playoff run. So I was looking at the trade block. Our season hasn't started off great. Outfield's been good, but TJ Friedel had a fractured leg, which injuries have really hurt us so far with this Reds team. Just a lot of our big name players have gotten hurt. Bubba Thompson got called up. Hopefully he can produce or at least play a backup role. But I was looking. I saw Lane Thomas available. And he's a free agent to be. He's not having a great year, but maybe in a hitter's ballpark he'll be good. And we can re-sign him to a reasonable deal, have him be our right fielder. And Will Benson's played good. He can still play every day. But I was thinking Jake Fraley's having a down year. We just need to do something. And obviously our pitching has struggled too. But, you never have enough offense, especially in Great American Ballpark. So we're going to trade Jake Fraley and a third baseman, 21 years old. I figured this would be a fair deal, especially since Lane Thomas is really the Nats' best player on this roster overall-wise. So we're going to go ahead and make this trade, add Lane Thomas to our team. I think it's a really good move for us. Hopefully he hits for us. That's really all you can hope. So hopefully that helps us out. Trades again. And I've been making a lot of trades with this team. And this might be one I regret. But Tyreek Skubal, and I think I got him in one of the other franchises too. He's having a really good year. He's under control for the last season of this franchise, 90 overall. They want a lot for him. Thinking about trading Edwin Arroyo, 21-year-old shortstop. Hunter Green, which it's a tough decision with Hunter Green. I mean, he's 25 and potentially could be better than Tyreek Skubal. But I mean, they don't want Lodolo. I mean, you look at Lodolo, I offer him. They're like, nah, we don't want him. Andrew Abbott, nah. Alcantara, they don't even want Alcantara. They want Hunter Green. That's who the Tigers want, and I can't blame him. He'd be the best pitcher on their staff once they trade Tyreek Skubal. But they're rebuilding, so it makes sense why they want a 25-year-old right-hander under control for multiple years. And then we're also trading our top pitching prospect, Rhett Lauder, who's 23, been solid in AAA. This is a tough trade to decide on because Hunter Green can be a stud. But this roster isn't working. Hunter Green's not putting up fantastic numbers for us. And a rotation with Sandy Alcantara and Tyreek Skubal, both under team-friendly contracts, is something that is very appealing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this trade. I might regret it down the road. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but I'm trying to mix up this roster because something is not working. We are in last place, 12 games out of first place, and it's the offense too. The offense has not hit. When you look at all these numbers, a lot of these guys have not hit like they should. Even Pete Alonso only has 15 home runs. In Cincinnati, you only got 15 home runs. I mean, everybody's power has just vanished. I mean, LED LaCruz only got 6 home runs. Stuart Fairchild 5. You know he's not really a power guy. Matt McLean only 13. I mean, we don't even have anybody even close to 20 besides Alonso. Will Benson's been good, but other than that, our offense has really struggled. So, like, could I be greedy and go out and get a Juan Soto? And he's due 20. I mean, he's making a lot of money. He's on the D-backs. He's having a monster season. Like, I could go out and get somebody like Juan Soto, but for one, we don't have enough to really trade for Juan Soto, in my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. We could trade him Lane Thomas, and I mean, I don't even know who else they'd even want for Juan. So I'm just kind of throwing in names at this point. Yeah, there ain't nothing we really, unless we trade Scuba, who we just got for Juan Soto, which I mean, I don't think our rotation would even be worth even doing that for. There'd be no point, but it's just been a tough season. We're going to go ahead and send the draft, get that done. I'll let you guys know how we are at the trade deadline. So we have another offer from the Red Sox, Brian Bello, who's pitching very well. He's only 25, signed to a team-friendly deal for Brandon Williamson, who's having not the best of years. And we had Brian Bello to our rotation. That's a solid 5 right there. All guys under 30. I mean, we have that now, but man, I'm going to go ahead and accept this deal. I think that's a very good trade for us, adding him to this rotation. This rotation's stacking up good. They just need to perform like they're capable of, and I think we'll be fine in the final season because this season's looking like a lost season. Going to go ahead and send me the trade deadline. Got an offer from the Pirates, Jason DeLay for Phil Maton. That don't really seem like a very appealing deal. Gonna wait to sign the rest of the draft picks. We get an offer of TJ Antone, free agent to be Anthony Gutierrez, center fielder, 70 or 64 overall, 20 years old, and a first baseman, Lauren Jefferson, a potential for TJ Antone, free agent to be. He's not having the best of years. That's tough. That's tough. But I don't know if either one of those guys help us next year, so I'm gonna say no. So we're at the trade deadline. It's kind of like my controller might be messing up a little bit or it might be lagging. I don't know what's going on, but we're 46 and 63 right now with this team in a winnable division. Everybody else is bunched up. We're just 14 and a half out. Let's see how everybody's been doing. Tyrese Skubal's been excellent, worth the trade, 5 and 7, 2.98 ERA. Sandy Alcantara's been solid, not the greatest of seasons compared to last year, but still not horrible. Nick Dodolo's been good for number 3, about the same numbers as Contra has, pretty identical. 3 and 12 record though, ouch. Andrew Abbott's been solid, 4.14 ERA, and then Brian Bello's been good in a red uniform as well. And you can expect those ERAs to be high, especially pitching a lot of games at home. Dylan Tate has not been good for us. Graham Ashcraft in a long relief role has been pretty good, 4.10 ERA. TJ Antone's been decent, but not really what we expected. Sam Mole's been Mr. Consistent so far, another good year, 3.12 ERA. Lucas Sims, 2.51 ERA. Phil Maton has not been good, not a very good pickup for us. Jose Leclerc's been solid, not the greatest, especially compared to last season, the 2 seasons before that, but still not a horrible season. And Alexis Diaz has bounced back smoothly, 30 saves, 2.45 ERA. I will take that from the closer. So let's see how the lineup's been doing. LED LaCruz, man, he has been struggling. Only 7 home runs at the trade deadline after a 21 home run year last year. His potential dropped to a B. That is tough. It's not a good year for him. Stuart Fairchild's even having a better year than him right now. That's crazy. And not even hating on Stuart Fairchild. It's the year he had last year. I didn't expect that to be the case. 8 home runs, 27 RBIs. Good slugging percentage, hitting close to 300. Matt McLean's been solid. Really just not a lot of power from this lineup so far. 15 home runs, though, 45 RBI. He's going to have a career year. Pete Alonso has not been good. Only 18 home runs for Pete at the trade deadline. Really? Wow, I expect him to have at least 30 by now with the ballpark and everything. It's just been just a disappointing lineup. Only 10 home runs for Candelario after 22 last year. His average is way down, numbers down across the board. Man, disappointing. Lane Thomas has been a very good pickup though. We still got to try to sign him to an extension. 18 home runs, 53 RBIs. He was really struggling with the Nats, so he's been really one of the only solid or the bright spots of this lineup so far. It's really been a letdown. Christian Encarnacion's been solid in that DH spot. Good to see. 10 home runs, 42 ribbies. Tyler Stevenson's been fine. 10 home runs, 33 RBIs. I mean, the numbers don't look impressive compared to the rest of the lineup, but really, if the rest of the lineup was contributing like they should, these numbers would look good, especially for the first Boston lineup. Then TJ Friedl. No, he's been hurt, but even he's having a down year power wise. Just the power has disappeared. Will Benson, though, has been consistent. 13 home runs for him, 46 RBIs, hitting for a good average. Brett Wisely has not hit. Bubba Thompson's been, solid for a backup outfielder. And then Mark Matias, didn't really expect him to hit again and just hasn't. So it's just the lineup. The lineup's been a complete letdown. So that's going to be something we got to work on in the offseason, just get better lineup. There's really nobody. I mean, like I said earlier, we could go out and get a Juan Soto, but we'd have to trade up so much. It would kind of just deplete our pitching. Like, yeah, we could give up a Tariq Skubal for Juan Soto, but really, what does that do for us? Like, yeah, our offense has struggled, but then we lose our ace. Even though we got Alcantara, after that, it's 82 overall, our second pitcher. So, like, I would love to have Juan Soto. And I would even give up Pete Alonso for Juan Soto because we have Encarnacion who's played good. But it's just we don't have a lot to really trade for him, really. I mean, it's just we trade a lot, so it ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and send the. Actually, let me go ahead and do that contract extension with Lane Thomas. See what kind of money he wants. That's a really good deal, 15.4 million. I will take that. So let's go ahead and send the off season and get this final season underway, and hopefully we can get it right this last season. End up having a league leader. Tyrese Skubal led the league in ERA, and Sandy Alcantara in complete games. So our two studs definitely pitched good. Let's see how everybody performed. Let's start off with the rotation. Tyrese Skubal, phenomenal year, 3.02 ERA, 12 and 10 record. Can't ask much more than that. Sandy Alcantara turned around 13 and 10, 3.45 ERA. So those two carried the load for our pitching staff. Nick Lodolo was solid, 3.71 ERA. Definitely a good bounce back year compared to last year. 6 and 17 record though, but we didn't really win a lot of games. Andrew Abbott, 11-8 record, 4.57 ERA. Not the greatest year for him. Definitely to bounce back next year. Then Brian Bello was not excellent, but pretty much where his career numbers have been. Gave us 179 innings, 14-9 record. Let's take a look at Dylan Tate, 3.95 ERA. Not horrible. Definitely a good bounce back year for Dylan. Graham Ashcraft was good in that long relief role. Maybe that's a permanent role for him next season. TJ Antone, better year than last year, was healthy for the most part, so that's good to see. Sam Moe had pretty much exactly the same season. Like I said, Mr. Consistency right here with Sam Moe. 2.72 ERA again for Sam. Lucas Sims, another guy who's been reliable, 2.77 ERA. Don't know how his overall is dropping when he had a good year, but whatever. Phil Maton had a better second half, still had a down year compared to what he's been doing. And then Jose Leclerc, down year for him. Still not a bad year, but the ERA definitely went up. Hopefully he can have a better year next year. And Alexis Diaz was excellent. 48 saves, only blew 3 saves. 2.09 ERA was lights out. So our pitching definitely could use a little bit more. But, I mean, I still think it's going to be solid. And let's see how the lineup looked horrible. You guys remember at the All-Star break. Well, actually, let's take a look at the record. I apologize. Standings. Brewers win with a 90 and 72 record. Cubs 89 and 73 getting a wild card. Pirates 83 and so we're the only team that didn't finish either at 500. We ended up turning it around though. 79-83. We looked like we were going to just finish with barely even 70 wins. So definitely turning around. Let's take a look at the lineup. LED La Cruz needs a bounce back year. 9 home runs the entire year. I think he had 9 home runs at the trade deadline. So he didn't hit a single home run in the second half. That is insane. Could be wrong about that though, but wow. Hopefully he bounces back because that's disappointing. He's supposed to be our young stud. TJ Friedl as well, just a horrible year. Just guys, his power fell off a cliff. 24 home runs the year before. I know he only played 88 games, but 8 home runs in 88 games? Wow. Matt McLain still put up a solid year, really a good year if you look at it. 25 home runs, 91 RBIs, slugged over 400, 271 average. Pete Alonso ended up finishing with 25 home runs. Not the year we expected, though, from Pete. We need him to carry us offensively next year because really expect a 40 home run campaign. You put him in Great American Ballpark, you're expecting better numbers than that. Candelario, down year, still ended up finishing solidly, but expect better numbers from him too. Still put up 17 homers, 56 RBIs. Lane Thomas was great. We ended up signing to a team-friendly contract, 25 home runs, 77 RBIs. Encarnacion was good. Nothing to really complain about with him. 12 home runs, 50 RBIs. And then Tyler Stevenson had a great year. 17 home runs, 51 RBIs. It's high slugging for him. Good on base percentage. Hit 266. Stuart Fairchild was solid in a limited role. 10 home runs, 40 RBIs, 293 average. Let's see how the bench did. Will Benson was good again. Had less at bats, but 13 home runs, 51 RBIs, 279 average. Brett Wisely, not very good. Bubba and Thompson. 7 home runs for Matthias is a good for him. So again, the lineup was just, the pitching was solid, just the lineup let us down. Now let's see who wins the World Series. The final season is upon us. Let me show you guys some of the moves we made. Starting rotation is pretty much the same. We added Caleb Ferguson to our bullpen. 1 year, $4.1 million. Coming off a solid year last year as a lefty to our bullpen. We don't really have a lefty besides Sam Moll, it looks like. So that's definitely going to help out. Catcher still got Tyler Stevenson. Pete Alonso still at first. Matt McLain. We did add Willie Castro because I saw our bench was just not very good last year. He can be a guy that subs in everywhere, plays everywhere. Got him for $7 million. Nobody really offered him a deal. We also added Isaiah Kiner Falefa, another utility guy off the bench who could play everywhere. Just need guys to maybe get days off, get some rest, and just add better bench bats. We added Kyle Schwarber, which I figured, he's coming off a 30 home run year. We paid him $7.5 million. Maybe he can work out. Pete Alonso hasn't worked out. Hopefully Kyle Schwarber does. And we still got the rest of the team the same. So hopefully the moves I made pay off. If I can't make the playoffs in all 3 of these seasons, the NL Central is just a curse for me besides the Cardinals. So let's get this season underway, and hopefully it's a successful final 3rd season. We're in 2nd place, 61-47. Let's take a look why. Willie Castro, solid. Not the most impressive numbers, but he's here for his defense, his glove, his versatility. I will take those numbers any day of the week. TJ Friedl, power still hasn't came back for him yet, but the average is back up. The on base about where it was last year, and the slugging's up a lot, so that's good to see at least. Matt McLain's having a great year, probably going to have a career year, 20 home runs, 57 RBIs, 270 average. Pete Alonso's having a better year. That's the numbers we need to see. Already having a better year than last year. Maybe it was just a new franchise, new ballpark, new city type of thing for Pete Alonso. 28 home runs, 89 RBIs. I will take that. Kyle Schwarber, free agent signing. Not the greatest numbers, but not terrible for Kyle Schwarber. I mean, he's probably going to give us at least 25 home runs. So not the worst year for him. Lane Thomas is having a hell of a season. 23 home runs, 63 RBIs, hitting 280, slugging over 500. Good year for him. LED LaCruz still just not hitting. I don't know what it is about LED LaCruz. He's just not producing like we've thought he was going to. He's having a better year than last year, but is that really saying much? Because his last year was so bad. Hopefully he can get it going. Tyler Stevenson's having an okay season. Not really anything special. Will Benson, the power's a little bit down, but still 315. He only played 47 games, though, so really good numbers for him. Let's see the bench. Jeimer Candelario hasn't played as much this season. He's really gotten his role taken away from him because he just didn't really hit last year. But he's hit this year in a limited role, 316, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs. Bubba Thompson's giving us good production as a backup outfielder. Isaiah Falefa's been good in a versatility role for us. And Stuart Fairchild gave us solid production. So our bench has gotten a lot better, and I think that's helped us win a lot of games too. Because you got to have guys who can come in and still produce when guys get days off or whatever the case. So let's take a look at the pitching. Sandy Alcantara's been excellent, 11-4, 3.34 ERA. Tyrese Skubal's been excellent as well. Those two are the horses of our rotation. They're showing why this season. 2.55 ERA. Nick Lodolo, wow. 2-10, 6.35 ERA. Hopefully he gets it going in the second half, so we'll need it if we make the playoffs. Andrew Abbott's been solid for a fourth starter, and Brian Bellow's been lights out. 12-1 record, 2.27 ERA. Maybe we need to move Nick Lodolo down the rotation. Maybe that'll help. Yanoa's been excellent in his long relief role, giving us a lot of innings, 2.82 ERA. Graham Ashcraft, another solid season so far. TJ Antone's been lights out. We brought him back on a one-year deal, 0.75 ERA. Caleb Ferguson, another good free agent pickup, 1.35 ERA. Also has 25 strikeouts in 26 innings, so that's impressive. Sam Moll, he hasn't really pitched that much this year, but he's not giving up a run. Phil Maton, 0.56 ERA. It looks like our bullpen's been lights out, really. Jose Leclerc's not been that great, but you're going to have one reliever who's not had a good year, and I'll take it if it's him. But Alexis Diaz, man, that's not what I wanted to see from our closer. I thought he was going to be lights out. Not sure if we should move him out of the closer role and get one of these other guys who have been pitching a lot better. I might just move him out of the closer role for now and put TJ Antone, 93 and 69. So the move to not make any moves at the trade deadline ends up paying off. League leaders, Brian Bello led the league in ERA, Tyrese Skubal in winning percentage, and Tyrese Skubal in WAR. And then Willie Castro with 48 stolen bases. Wow, that's impressive. Let's see how everybody did before we get this playoffs underway. We'll take that from Willie Castro, especially 48 stolen bases. That was something I didn't expect. TJ Friedl, a solid year, not the best year power-wise, but still put up 83 RBIs and hit 280. Matt McLean, another good year for him. Pete Alonso, a bounce-back year, 40 home runs, over 121. Kyle Schwarber ended up giving us 27 home runs. I will take that. Lane Thomas with 35 home runs, a career high, so good to see that from him. LED La Cruz ended up bouncing back a little bit, 17 home runs. Good to see him get some of that power going. Tyler Stevenson had another good year. Been really producing well as our catcher. Will Benson, 15 home runs, 53 RBIs, hit over 300. He's just been consistently good for us in this franchise. Jamer Candelario was good in a limited role. Bubba Thompson gave us good production off the bench. Kiner Falefa, my apologies, was solid as well. Stuart Fairchild, not the greatest year for him. And then the rotation, Sandy Alcantara, 15 and 8, 3.20 ERA. You can't beat that. Tyrese Skubal, 19 and 4 with a 2.74 ERA. And then Andrew Abbott, pretty much identical to last year. Definitely expect better numbers. Brian Bello was lights out, 17 and 4 record this season. Nick Lodolo, not the greatest year for him. Yanoa, excellent year, 3.24 ERA out of the bullpen. He's been a good pickup for us. Graham Ashcraft, another consistently good year. Alexis Diaz bounced back a little bit out of the closer role, but still a down year for him, 4.50 ERA. Caleb Ferguson was excellent. Had a little bit of a bad second half, but still finished the year with an ERA under 3. Sam Moll was excellent, a .84 ERA, only 10 innings pitched, but still. How about Phil Maton? Was hesitant on bringing him back, 1.07 ERA. Jose Leclerc, not the greatest year, but still gave us solid innings. And TJ Antone, 2.09 ERA, yet his overall drops and his potential drops. So good year overall. Let's get this playoffs going. One against the Atlanta Braves. Sandy Alcantara on the mound. Has a 1-2-3 inning. We're facing Renato Lopez. No score in the first inning. Let's see if our aces can pitch us to a first-round win. It's going to be a pitching duel so far. It looks like a lot of easy innings so far. Fourth inning. Sandy Alcantara continues to roll through the Atlanta Braves. We end up not scoring. Leadoff single, fly out. Looks like an injury happened potentially. So Brad Keller's coming in relief. Going to send a stolen base for Willie Castro. Walk. 3-run home run by Matt McLean. 3-0 Cincinnati. As we take a 3-0 lead, let's see if we can keep it. Sandy Alcantara is flying. There's a home run by Matt Olson. 3-1 Atlanta. That's the only run he's given up so far. Going to let him maybe go, and he ties it up. Jared Kelenic, I can never pronounce his name, ties the game. Let's bring in Yanoa, former Brave, to face his former team. 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th. Andrew Chafin against Kyle Schwarber. Single. Lane Thomas, strikeout. Ellie De La Cruz walks. Tyler Stevenson hits into a double play. Austin Riley, Albies, Emilio Pagan, former Red, to face Bubba Thompson. Strikeout, ground out, pop up. Yanoa gives up a leadoff double to Sean Murphy. Let's bring in Alexis Diaz to try to keep us the lead. Ground out, strikeout, strikeout. Matt McLean, strikeout, walk, walk, double play. Can we get one more inning? Double for Matt Olson. We end up getting out of the inning. Penn Murphy comes in the pitch for the Atlanta Braves. Error, single, Bunsum, bases loaded, 2 outs. Can TJ Friedl come through? Sac fly, but Will Benson gets injured. But we do take game 1 off the sac fly by Will Benson. Knee inflammation, not a terrible injury. So we end up winning game 1. So now time for game 2. Can Tyreek Skubal carry us to a 2-0 series lead? Let's see how it goes. Error, double play, walk, strikeout. Solo home run by TJ Friedl. Another run scores thanks to Kyle Schwarber. So our offense is coming through, but the Atlanta Braves have a hell of an offense too. They score 2 runs, another run, and it's 4-2 Atlanta. Tyrese Skubal not pitching the best so far, but we are facing Spencer Strider and getting some runs on the board, so that's impressive in its own right. Bases loaded. Can he get out of this? No, he doesn't. It's time to make a pitching change. Graham Ashcraft going to have to give us some innings. 6-2 Atlanta, bottom of the 4th. 1-2-3 inning. Spencer Strider is getting in a groove now, but Ashcraft's giving us some good innings out of the pen. There's a double. It might be time to change. We're going to put in Sam Moll to face some lefties. He's been good all year round. And he gets out of the jam. Good pitching performance there. 2-run home run by Tyler Stevenson. We're down 2 runs. Going to make a pitching change. Jose Leclerc, top of the 8th. Can he get out of this? He doesn't. Maybe one more. Okay, gives up a run. Spencer Strider gets substitute for Penn Murphy, who pitched earlier. 1-2-3 inning. Going to bring in TJ Antone to try to keep, and he gives up a home run to Kelnick. Double, ground out, walk. He is not looking good. Time to bring in Caleb Ferguson. He gets out of the inning. So down 4, bottom of the 9th. Looking good for the Braves as they take game 2 to tie the series 1-1, heading back to Atlanta. Not what we wanted. We definitely want to take a 2-0 series lead going to Atlanta. So Andrew Abbott will be on the mound. Let's see if we can bounce back and get a game 3 win. We end up scoring an early run thanks to Pete Alonso. But we all know the Braves can get that run right back. Andrew Abbott looking good so far. Eduardo Rodriguez gives up a solo home run to Ellie De La Cruz. Good to see that power on display. Andrew Abbott gave up a few hits, but he's gotten out of it so far. Especially against his Braves offense. That's impressive. So 4 strong innings so far. 2-0 still. Gives up a run to Acuna, but that's all he gives up. So 5 strong innings. There's a home run by Pete. He's been stellar in this series. So Andrew Abbott gave us 5 quality innings. It's time to bring in Phil Maton. Gives up a run right away. Another double. Gives up 2 more runs. So Phil Maton just not very good. Let's see if Caleb Ferguson can get out of this mess. He does. Andrew Chafin comes in to face 3 switch hitters. Gives up a double to Willie Castro. There's a single for TJ Friedl. Joe Jimenez against Matt McLean, and he gets to fly out. Solo home run for Acuna. 1 more batter, gives up a single. Let's bring in Alexis Diaz. Gets out of the inning. Joe Jimenez, top of the 8th. Pete Alonso, ground out. Lane Thomas, single. Kyle Schwarber, double play. That is tough. Alexis Diaz, 1 more inning, yes. So we're facing Tanner Scott, one of the best closers in the league. Ground out, solo home run for Candelario. Another back-to-back home runs for Candelario and Ellie De La Cruz. And we're tied. They're stunned in Atlanta. A double for Willie Castro. We take the lead in the top of the 9th against our former relief pitcher, Emilio Pagan. Alonso comes through, gets us an insurance run. Let's see if Antone can close this out. Single, walk. Albies pops up. Riley walks, bases loaded, sac fly, and we win a nail biter in Atlanta, 7-6. Hell of a comeback. That's the type of momentum we need going to a game four. What a crazy comeback in the ninth inning. Brian Bello on the mound, who's been excellent all year round, against Zach Eflin. 1-2-3 inning. Both pitchers have 1-2-3 innings. Double for Lane Thomas, doesn't lead to nothing. And Brian Bello is rolling right now through 2 innings. Back-to-back singles, bunt him, strikeout. We fail to get that run home. That is tough. Brian Bello continues to roll. Ground out, single. Might be in some trouble, gets out of it. Zach Eflin's been just as good, though. So top of the 6th, still tied. Can we get a run right here? We do. 1-0. Emilio Pagan, who's been good, gives up a run. Brian Bello still in the game. 6 strong innings. Can we get another run? No, we don't. We're going to leave him out there. He's been good. Gets out of it. 8th inning. Brian Bello, we're going to let him go another inning potentially. He does. He might pitch a complete game here, which we desperately need. Stolen base for Willie Castro. Base is loaded, and we can't score. Leadoff double for Ronald Acuna Jr. Going to bring in Jose Leclerc to clean house here. Strikes out Olsen. Strike out at Austin Riley, and Albies grounds out, and we advance to face the Dodgers in the next round. That's going to be something. Well, time for game 1. We're definitely the underdogs in this series, I should say. But the underdogs always have a chance. We saw the D-backs beat the Dodgers last year. Going to have Alcantara go game 1 against Shohei Ohtani. Here we go. Talk about a star-studded matchup. 2-run home run for Pete Alonso, though, to get us started. They got a Luis Arias on the Dodgers, too. It's insane. Alcantara's looking good. Ohtani's giving up some hits. Alcantara's getting through the Dodger lineup, this star-studded LA Dodger lineup. Home run for Ellie De La Cruz. Our power is coming through. A triple for Willie Castro. Doesn't lead to nothing, though. Sandy Alcantara, 5 shutout innings here in game 1. Can he keep it going? 2-run homer from Mookie. Makes it 3-2. Ohtani still in the game. And another run scores, so the game's tied. So let's go ahead and put in Yanoa, see if he can get out of it. He does. So tie game. Ohtani gets replaced by Ori Lopez to face Will Benson. Ground out, pop up, walk, strikeout. So it's time to bring in a lefty. We got 3 lefties up. Let's bring in Sam Moe to face Freeman and Arias. Strikeout, error. Mookie strikes out. Ohtani strikes out. What a job by Sam Moe. Can our lineup get us a run? No, they do not. One more hitter for Sam Moe. Gives up a leadoff double to James Outman. It's time to bring in Phil Maton, who struggled last time out. Strikeout, ground out. Top of the 10th, extra innings. Ellie De La Cruz against Jonathan Loáisiga. No runs. Can Phil Maton get us through a 1-out triple by Freddie Freeman? Jose Leclerc. Taylor Walls, strikeout. Mookie Betts, ground out. We get out of the inning. But our offense is not scoring runs right now. This is unfortunate. Pete Alonso against another former Red. We got to get a sac fly right here, which we do. Way to come through. Let's put in our closer, TJ Antone. Fly out, ground out. And we beat the Dodgers 4-3 in game 1 in LA. What a win for us. That is a momentum type win, a nail biter, and we needed that game. So let's put in Tyreek Skubal against Tyler Glasnow. Gets out of the first inning. Solo home run by Mookie, who's torched us so far in this series. 1-0 LA. Tyreek Skubal giving up some hits. Bases loaded for Freddie Freeman. Gets out of it. Glasnow is mowing down our lineup. So Tyreek Skubal strikes out the side. That's impressive. Leadoff single, strikeout, double play. So 5 strong innings for him. But Tyler Glasnow looks unhittable tonight. He is not getting a lot of hits at all. Going to give Skubal one more batter. Okay, he walks. Time to bring in the bullpen. Graham Ashcraft gets out of it. Leadoff double. Pete Alonso. strikes out. Kyle Schwarber walks. Lane Thomas flies out and a strikeout. Graham Ashcraft giving us good innings. Gets out of it. So Bruzdar Grathorel, think I'm pronouncing that right. I know who he is. I just can never pronounce his name. Comes in the pitch, gets out of the inning. Graham Ashcraft still continues to pitch well. Gets out of the inning, top of the ninth. They bring in Evan Phillips, a lights-out closer to face Matt McLain, Pete Alonso, and Kyle Schwarber. Leadoff double for Matt McLain. Two-run bomb by Pete Alonso in the ninth inning. Magic comes to play again for the Cincinnati Reds. Unbelievable. Sac fly, 3-1. It's time to bring in our closer again. TJ Antone gives up a single pop-up. Double play, and it's 2-0 Cincinnati. Unbelievable. We got a 2-0 series lead going back to Cincinnati. Ninth inning magic again by this team. Going to give Lodolo the start. He hasn't pitched yet in this series. Going to see if he can give us a good performance here tonight at home. It's a hitter's ballpark. Two dynamic offense. We're facing Yasunobu Yamamoto. We all know how good he can be. This might be a pitcher's duel. A lot of strikeouts so far. Dodgers fail to score. One run scores thanks to Willie Castro, so we got a 1-0 lead. That probably won't be enough, though, against this high-powered Dodgers offense. Two-run bomb by Freddie Freeman. And Lodolo starting to lose control a little bit here. Let's bring in Yanoa to give us some innings. He gets out of it. Yamamoto continues to have a good game. Yanoa 1-2-3 sixth. We fail to score. No, double by Kyle Schwarber. Another single by Lane Thomas. And a two-run homer by Ellie De La Cruz. And it's 5-2 Cincinnati. Unbelievable. Yanoa gives us a pitching performance to be proud of tonight. Luis Severino out of the pen. It's time to bring in, let's see, Alexis Diaz. Strikeout, walk, strikeout, strikeout. Luis Severino gets through. We used our closer a lot. Let's see. Jose Leclerc gets us the win. 3-0 Reds in the series. We're one game away from going to the World Series. Unbelievable stuff right here, folks. We are beating the almighty Dodgers. Brian Bello gets the game for a start. He's been unbelievable. Gives up a double, but gets out of it. We're facing Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers have to win this game. Brian Bello, another good inning for him. Walks might get him in trouble. A 3-run homer by Mookie. Makes it 3-0 LA. There's a double for Friedel. Doesn't lead to nothing, though. Ohtani looks really good tonight, but not now. Ellie De La Cruz, 2-run bomb. 3-2 Reds. 2-run bomb by Willie Castro. What a pickup he's been. It's time to bring in the bullpen. Graham Ashcraft. Air, walk, pop-up, 2-run score. Another run scores. He gets out of the inning, so the Dodgers retake the lead 6-4. And we end up hitting to a double play. One more inning out of Ashcraft would be good. Ohtani still pitching, gets out of the sixth. Going to bring in Caleb Ferguson, former Dodger, to face two Dodgers lefties. It looks like there's an injury potentially. Alexis Diaz in the pitch, ends up getting out of the bases loaded jam. Jorge Lopez in the pitch, strikes out the side. Going to bring in Phil Maton. 1-2-3, top of the eighth. Gratterall into the game. Gets out of it. There's a walk single. Let's make sure this don't get any more out of control. Bring our closer in, gets a double play. So this is our last chance to sweep the Dodgers. Evan Phillips, Ellie De La Cruz, single. Strikes out Stevenson. Will Benson, walk. Willie Castro, strikeout and a ground out. Caleb Ferguson, bruised hand in this game. So we're still in a good spot. But we don't want to go back to LA 3-2. We just don't. So let's take a look. Who we got? Sandy Alcantara. Trying to get us to the World Series. It'll double for the Reyes. Leads to a run. James Outman and Will Smith both driving runs. We're facing Bobby Miller on the mound. Alcantara doesn't look very sharp in this game. It might get out of control early. We end up getting a double, getting a run. Ellie De La Cruz has been excellent in this series. Bounce back inning for Sandy. Caught stealing. There's a single for Matt McLain. 2-run bomb by Pete. gets us tied the game. We needed that. Can Sandy keep this game tied? He does. Bobby Miller gives up a single, a double. We strike out trying to drive in the run. So we're going to go ahead and take Sandy Alcantara out, put in Yanoa, who's been very good. Might regret that. But the Dodgers get 1 run, 2 runs, and that is all they get that inning, but still get the lead. Yanoa against Mookie. Yanoa's not looking too sharp tonight. Accidentally walked a batter, but get a double play. Bobby Miller. We got 2 on, 2 out. Jonathan Loizaga walks, bases loaded. Kyle Schwarber, and he flies out. That is tough. The Dodgers are trying to get back in this series, make it 3-2, heading back to LA. Jose Leclerc gave us a hell of a performance. Evan Phillips in to close out back-to-back games. Single. We have a pinch runner we can put in. Bubba Thompson, 99 speed, double play, and the Dodgers take Game 5, and we go back to LA for 2. Hopefully we don't choke a 3-0 lead. This would just be embarrassing. We got to win this game. There ain't no way. So we're going to put Tyreek Skubal in. We got to try to close this out. Tyler Glass now, who was dominant in the first game, gives up a run in the first thanks to Pete Alonso. Error in the first, ends up leading to a run. We can't have errors in this type of game. Tyreek Skubal with a good second inning. There's a double right there. Willie Castro's not going to get him in, but TJ Friedel does. 2-run bomb by Pete. He has been historically good in this series. My goodness. But Shohei Ohtani hits a 3-run bomb. And Tyreek Skubal gets out of the third inning trailing, or up by a run still. So the base is low. It's time to take him out, folks. It's time. So we're going to put in, this is a big at-bat right here. We're going to bring in Samuel, who's been excellent. Gives up 3 runs to the Dodgers, and they take a 6-4 lead. That is tough. Going to bring in Alexis Diaz. Can he get us out of this inning? He does. So single for Matt McLean, pop up for Pete, strikeout of Schwarber, and a ground out for Lane Thomas. Dodgers don't get nothing in the bottom of the 6th. Ellie De La Cruz leadoff single, pop up, strikeout, strikeout. Let's see. Phil Maton, single, fly out, double play. Gratterall, who's been lights out against us so far in this series, pop up, solo bomb by Pete Alonso. We're down 1. But we can get another run. So we're down 1 heading into the 9th inning. Got to bring in our closer, make sure that doesn't get out of control anymore. Bases loaded. Going to bring in Yanoa, who's been good. Gets out of it. That a boy right there. So we're facing Evan Phillips, the 3rd straight game. Down a run, ground out, single by Ellie De La Cruz, single by Tyler Stevenson. Pop up. It's up to Willie Castro, and he strikes out. So we lose 3 straight games, and the Dodgers have a chance to come back from a 3-0 deficit. Oh my goodness. Andrew Abbott's been good. He's pitching Game 7. We gotta win this game. Yamamoto on the mound. 1, 2, 3 innings. Single by Freddie Freeman. Walk. 3-run homer by Austin Hayes. 3-0 LA. That is just tough to start off a game. Andrew Abbott, though, gets out of the second inning, 1, 2, 3. Errors. We can't be making errors. This is an absolute choke job by our team. A 3. Austin Hayes is destroying us. 2 3-run bombs. 6-0 Dodgers. This is an absolute choke job, ladies and gentlemen. This is just bad. Another home run by the Dodgers. Oh my goodness. There's no way we choked a 3-0 lead. It's time to bring in Caleb Ferguson. Another 2-run bomb. 9-0 LA. This is just getting out of hand. We were 1 win away from the World Series, and we choke. Another home run by the Dodgers. 11-0. Our team is just unraveled. The Dodgers have been here before. We haven't, and it is showing. Top of the 9th inning. Yamamoto going for the complete game shutout. And he gets it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially been eliminated after being up 3-0 on the LA Dodgers. We choke. Time to see the Dodgers win the World Series against the Twins. That is just, and some of it's some of the moves I made. Maybe I shouldn't have went without Andrew Abbott in Game 7, but it didn't look like our bullpen was going to hold up anyways. But that'd do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this franchise. It's a very disappointing loss. We did almost make it to the World Series, though. It's the farthest I've made in the NL Central. So make sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching.